Hello, I'm Tom Wilkinson, and welcome to the Thinking in English podcast, a podcast for intermediate to advanced level English learners. Dress codes are everywhere at school, at work, in restaurants, and in religious institutions. But are they a good thing? Today, let's take a look at the debate over dress codes. You can find the full transcript of today's episode for free on the Thinking in English blog. Check out my Instagram page, Thinking in English Podcast, for more content. And why not subscribe to my Patreon page for bonus episodes, English classes, and much more. Here is today's vocabulary list. As always, the written list is available in the description of the podcast and also on my blog, thinkinginenglish.blog. Scrubs. Scrubs. Scrubs are the loose clothes worn by doctors and nurses in a hospital. For example, she came home wearing her doctor's scrubs. Limitation. Limitation. The act of controlling or reducing, or something that controls or reduces something. For example, there are strict limitations on where you can build houses in the UK. To indicate. To indicate. To show, point, or make clear in another way. As in, please indicate what course you would like to study on the application form. To enforce. To enforce. To make people obey a law. For instance, the new teacher had failed to enforce any sort of discipline. Synthetic. Synthetic. Synthetic products are made from artificial substances, often copying a natural product. As in, clothing made from synthetic materials can catch fire easily. Inclusive. Inclusive. An inclusive group or organization tries to include many different types of people and treat them all fairly and equally. For example, our aim is to create a fairer and more inclusive society. To violate. To violate. To break or act against something, especially a law or rule. For instance, he violated the law with his business deals. To sexualize. To sexualize. To see something or someone in sexual terms. As in, she criticized the number of sexualized music videos being released by pop stars. A few months ago, I released an episode looking at the pros and cons of school uniforms. It quickly became one of my most popular episodes. However, after releasing that episode and listening to some of your comments, I realized that schools are not the only place to control how we dress. In fact, I'm sure most of you have some kind of dress code for work. It could be a really strict dress code, such as a military uniform, a police uniform, or protective equipment used by scientists. You could be a nurse or a doctor wearing scrubs in a hospital. When I started this podcast, I was working a night shift in a supermarket, and I had to wear a company polo shirt and black trousers every day. A lot of you will need to wear suits to work. Even if you don't need to wear a suit, it is likely you have some limitations on what you can wear. Maybe you have to wear a buttoned shirt or smart shoes or no shorts. Work is one of the most common places to have dress codes. Famously, some airlines require female employees to wear high heels and tight dresses while they are working. In fact, some airlines don't just have dress codes for clothes, but they also tell their employees how to put on makeup and how to do their hair. A friend of mine is a nurse in Japan, and she has been told by her hospital to keep her hair black and never dye it brown. Dress codes are actually everywhere, but we don't always think about them. I went to a hot spring in Japan recently. People with tattoos were banned from entering. In fact, there are a lot of careers, companies, and places in Japan that won't accept you if you have tattoos. I went on vacation to France when I was a child, and the swimming pool did not allow people to enter wearing swimming shorts. In fact, some beaches in France have infamously banned the burkini, a swimming costume covering the whole body and designed for Muslim women. Some restaurants and nightclubs also have dress codes. You may have seen signs that say no shirt, no shoes, no service. And a friend of mine plays golf regularly, and he has to wear smart clothes, including a jacket or a blazer, to play on his favorite course. Now, I'm sure there are hundreds of other examples of dress codes in the world, but you get my point. Our schools, employers, hobbies, restaurants, and businesses try to control how we dress. But why? Well, dress codes have existed for a long time. Humans have been wearing clothes for over 100,000 years, and most societies have long had rules on what you can and can't wear. Who can wear certain clothes has always been controlled, and clothes were used to reflect cultural values and social beliefs. For example, clothes indicated the leaders, the elders, and different positions or professions within a society. Religions used clothes to reflect their morals, right? Think about the head coverings that are common in Islam, Judaism, and some types of Christianity. These are a form of dress code. There are formal dress codes, rules which force you to wear or not wear certain clothes. Often, these rules may come from businesses or schools, for example, your work telling you what to wear. But sometimes the government also takes an interest in the clothes and appearance of people. As far back as the 16th century, a man called Richard Walwain was arrested and imprisoned for wearing very monstrous and outrageous pants. So, for a long time, the governments around the world have been interested in what people are wearing. There are also informal dress codes. These are not enforced by rules or laws, but by social expectations and pressure. Have you ever noticed how friends, people of similar backgrounds, or similar social classes tend to dress similarly? There are whole stores and businesses designed around these kinds of informal dress codes. Think about skateboard stores selling skateboarding shoes and graphic t shirts and various hats. You don't need to wear these clothes to skateboard, but often skateboarders do. It's kind of an informal dress code. Or sports fans wearing their team's colours or jerseys on game days. Or professional business people in big cities buying and wearing high fashion brands with famous names. It's all a kind of dress code to fit in to a certain social group. But should we really still have dress codes? Are they a good idea? At work, at school, at restaurants, at businesses, dress codes still exist. But do we really need them? On the one hand, dress codes are seen as creating a professional atmosphere, promoting safety, and bringing people together. On the other hand, some people argue that dress codes can sometimes be racist or sexist. Well, today I want to present you with arguments from both sides of the debate. As with my previous debate episodes, I will introduce the main pro and con arguments. I want you to listen to the two sides, think about the different issues, and make your own decisions. I want you to think in English. So let's start with the pro arguments, the ideas that dress codes are a good idea. First, there has been research conducted that shows dress codes help create a professional atmosphere, and that professional atmospheres are conducive to success. Dress codes that force employees to wear suits or other job related clothes may actually be improving employees' performances. In fact, one study showed that people wearing suits perform better on tests than people not wearing suits. Another study demonstrated that people wearing suits make better business deals compared to people dressed casually. And a third study showed that people wearing white lab coats, like scientists or doctors wear, made 50% less mistakes in concentration tasks than people not wearing lab coats. Second, dress codes are often essential for safety reasons. In some jobs, you need to wear certain things and you can't wear other things. And the reasons are for your own protection. Think about construction workers. They wear hard hats, protective glasses, heavy work boots, and jackets to protect them from accidents. Other times, certain items of clothes need to be banned for safety reasons. If you work with chemicals, wearing clothes that expose your skin or are made from synthetic materials, like leggings often are, is always a bad idea because they can burn and set on fire. Religious clothes like headscarves are sometimes banned as they can get caught in machinery or pose other threats. And stores which ban face coverings like masks or helmets do so to help prevent robberies or violence. Third, some people argue that dress codes help create an inclusive environment. This is similar to the argument that is used to support school uniforms. If everyone is wearing similar clothes, people can concentrate on their work rather than their outfits. Dress codes can make a large and diverse group of people look like a team. Dress codes can also help customers or clients. On the other hand, some people think dress codes are a bad thing. Dress codes are often and fairly criticized. First, dress codes can often be based on racist ideas of clothing and beauty. Regulations of hairstyles, for example, often force black men and particularly black women to change their natural hair. Some schools and companies prevent women from wearing their hair in braids, afros, or locks, all hairstyles that suit black hair. When you force people to wear the same or similar clothes, you ignore the fact that different people have different bodies. A school teacher from the US revealed how black female students were punished more often for violating school dress codes than white students, despite wearing the exact same uniforms. Why? Well, because different bodies, different people have different features. And in the US and in Europe, dress codes were designed for white bodies. Second, dress codes are not the same for everyone. In fact, the average business or school has more rules on women's clothes and appearance than on men's clothes and appearance. Often, girls are punished for clothes that can distract boys, rather than men and boys being told to stop sexualizing women. While a man may be told to wear a suit to work, women also have their makeup, haircuts, nails, and body types regulated. Third, dress codes can be openly racist and discriminatory. As I mentioned earlier, France has banned certain religious clothing. They have banned burqas and hijabs, traditional Islamic clothing, which is supposed to be for public safety, but is ignoring the culture and beliefs of some Muslim women. Schools in the USA have often banned Native American hairstyles and clothing. And until 2019, there was a rule in the US that banned religious headwear like hijabs, turbans, or kippas in the US Congress. So, what do you think? Are dress codes a good idea? Should we still have dress codes? After listening to both sides of the argument, what is your opinion? On the one hand, dress codes are important for safety, create a professional atmosphere, and make an inclusive environment. On the other hand, dress codes are unfairly harsh on minorities and women and can be openly racist and sexist. After thinking in English and listening to everything I've said, I would love to know what you think. Do you think dress codes are a good idea? Do you think dress codes are unnecessary and banned? Or do you think it should be somewhere in the middle? What kinds of dress codes do you encounter in your daily life? Do you have dress codes at work, school, or your religious institutions? Do you think that these dress codes, the ones that you have in your life, are fair? Please let me know in the comments on the blog. Leave a comment on Spotify. I'll put a question up there, or send me a message on Instagram. If you love listening to Thinking in English and you want to help support the podcast, help me keep going and keep growing, help me keep making more episodes, you can sign up to my Patreon account. Patreon is a platform that allows podcast fans and listeners to subscribe and support their favorite podcasts. And in return, you will get bonus English classes, conversation groups, bonus episodes, unedited interview episodes. You can ask me questions all the time. So many different things, and I'm going to keep improving. And there's already 13 of you who've signed up, which is incredible. Let's see if we can get to 20 Patreons by the end of this week. That is my goal. But if you don't want to sign up to Patreon, that's absolutely fine. Instead, please go to my Instagram and follow me on Instagram. And please leave a like, a rating, a review, or a follow wherever you are listening right now. I'm at 1.6 thousand reviews on Spotify, which is incredible. Let's try to get to 2,000 as soon as possible. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.